It's Monday when I'm recording this, and the video is due to go out today to Patreon supporters and then tomorrow, Tuesday, to everyone else. So if you're watching this on Monday, congratulations, you are a Patreon supporter. That's Charlie the Rooster. Don't mind him. And if you watch this on Tuesday, well, congratulations, you're watching it on general release. And if you watch it later than that, don't worry. We all have other things going on in our lives, which is all why we are here right now. I went into the weekend with the plan of making a video in which I work on the control board for my Vectrex VX1 maxi scooter. That's the electric maxi scooter that I have that was made in 2007, 2008, and it's needed a bit of an update, and I have some new electronic components to fit. But despite getting the camera ready and despite getting everything else ready, the best played plans, blah, blah, blah. You know the rest, even though I just fluffed what I was going to say. This is going to be a single take video because I have a lot that I need to get off my chest and a lot that I need to let you know about what's going on. So let's roll the intro. Okay, so in addition to me making a filler video, I'm gonna be honest, this is a filler video. I also want to let you know a little bit about why it's a filler video. Last week, unfortunately, we had a death in the family, and that has caused us to have a slower than normal production schedule. There's been a lot of extra things going on, and well, when you lose someone, you need to take time. Also, unfortunately, at the weekend, I spent the majority of my weekend fixing a plumbing problem. We had a leak in our crawl space that took nearly all of Saturday to fix, and then all the things that I had planned to do on Saturday ended up needing to be done on Sunday. And I also misplaced my solder wick. For those who don't know, that's the special material that you can use to soak up molten solder to help remove components that have been soldered to a circuit board. And because of all of that, because I couldn't get it done in time, we delayed the video that we had planned on publishing today. But I have a whole page of notes that I want to talk with you through because, well, it's about time that I respond to some of your comments, and there've been lots. So yeah, this has not been the video that we wanted to make. And this week is shaping up already to not be the video week that we wanted. I used the wrong word there. Like I say, I'm intentionally being neurospicy in this video. I have decided not to mask because I think when you see someone on a camera, on a video who is confident and they always say the right words, sometimes it's difficult to actually associate that character with a real person. And what you're seeing right now is the real me. I do often use the wrong words. It's not because I'm stupid. It's not because I'm unintelligent. It's just because my brain works really fast a lot of the time, and I have to slow my brain down, and sometimes I don't catch it. And there's a lot going around in my head right now. And there's a lot going around in everyone else's head right now. TE is taking a week off next week for July 4th. We are based in the US, and it's become something of tradition at the channel. Generally, we try not to take time off, and let me tell you, the entire team at this channel work their little tookuses off every single day. Our camera person works full-time. Our animator and artist work full-time. Our animator and artist is the same person, just in case you thought we'd hired someone new. And Kate, she works 2 days a week, but in reality, she probably does enough work during those 2 days to be the equivalent of 3 or maybe 4 days a week. And I work basically the entire time I'm at home. I'm at home right now. My house is where the studio is. And we're all exhausted. We're all mentally and physically exhausted. And over the weekend, when we said in 10 that we were going to be taking a break, we had several trolls kick in and say, well, your channel's failing. You can't take time off. If you take time off, your channel's going to be dead. Defund TE. Erase the woke. Investigate them with the SEC and the FBI. And I'm not joking. Those are real comments. Paraphrased, you understand? I can't remember them verbatim, but that's been the general gist. And it pisses the team off, and it makes us not want to create content. And for those watching who go, you know, you shouldn't let the trolls get to you. You're right. In an ideal world, in a perfect world, that would be the case. But at the same time, we are not living in a perfect world, and I am not a perfect person. As my mother is so fond of saying, bless her little heart, she says, show me a perfect person, and I will show you a liar. It's helped my mum throughout her 21 and a bit years on this planet. My mother is 21, you understand. She'd kill me if I told you her real age. It's 21. Anyway. We're tired. We're tired of the marginalisation and the BS and the bovine byproduct and the hate calls and the text messages and the emails and the threatened doxing, which I particularly have been getting a lot of. And I know this is funny, but I don't need your permission to give everybody a week off. And so we're going to take a week off. Not this week, next week, we'll take a week off. And we're going to do our best to try and make sure there's some content to go up. But if we skip a day or two, please be understanding. We're all mentally and physically exhausted. Team members are struggling right now with multiple different health things. I have been struggling with multiple different health things. And I need to be able to get up in the morning and go play a computer game or go and garden and not worry about making videos about EVs. So, we're taking a week off next week. I've kind of talked a little bit about the threats that we've been getting. And some of you have asked why we haven't got law enforcement involved. And in an ideal world, we would. But we're living in a country where LGBTQIA plus voices are not being treated equally. Law enforcement, the government especially, is pushing back against DEI, pushing back against equity and inclusion and having a diverse world. And there are some really terrifying horror stories of queer people, of trans people who have gone to the cops about threats that have been made against them, only for things to have been made worse. So, yeah, we've not been getting the law enforcement involved. And unfortunately, that brings me to another thing that I need to talk to you about. You probably didn't see this video in your feed. You probably didn't know about this video immediately. I've been talking to a lot of queer and trans creators, and we're all noticing the same thing. Namely, that our videos are not appearing in people's feeds anymore. On YouTube, this is. YouTube seems to be quietly, not officially, unsubscribing and hiding views from audience members. I got an email a couple of days ago from someone going, "It's great to see you back on YouTube. We missed you." We've been making content every week now for 15 years. That's not changed. Apart from when we moved to the US in 2015, we went quiet for a bit there, but even then, I still tried to make something every week or so. And that's because YouTube's algorithm is the worst bits of society. That's the downside of AI, or even the downside of AI, vis-a-vis what I said earlier about saying the wrong thing. I spoon from aphorisms. What can you say? YouTube's algorithm is quashing minority voices and instead pushing content designed to enrage and engage your anger muscle. If I look at my own subscription feed for YouTube, and I'm not talking about the Transport Evolved one, I'm talking about my personal YouTube channel. I have a separate YouTube channel that I use for viewing stuff on YouTube. And a lot of the content creators that I enjoy have mysteriously vanished. And I go and look, and sure enough, I've been unsubscribed, or their content has been hidden from me, which seems to be happening more often. And like, I know they've just published a new video because I saw it come through on my phone, and then I try and find it on a different device, and it's nowhere to be found. And I know that that's happening to other content creators, whether they're queer or not, but it seems to be disproportionately affecting LGBTQIA+ folk. So, complain. Also, YouTube has stopped moderating. At least transphobia, homophobia, mild racism all seems to now be given a green light by YouTube because the current US president, and I know this is political and some people are going to be upset about that, and I'm sorry, but look, if I pretend everything is okay and everyone else on the team pretends that everything else is okay, then you yourself think that we're fine and everything is okay, and I'm letting you behind the curtain because I'm a human. And there are many other people like me, like team members at the channel, who need you to understand the pressure that we are all under now is ridiculous. And we need an alternative to YouTube. Now, we do have PeerTube. We have a PeerTube account. We're only able to upload a small section of our back catalogue at any one time because we run out of space pretty quickly otherwise. We are working really hard to find an alternative platform, to grow an alternative platform. Yes, there are platforms like Floatplane, but they haven't really caught up yet. And if you join a platform that isn't really very popular, and it doesn't show any signs of growing, that can be a death in of its own sense. So just know that we're working on it, but also know that all of the nonsense we're getting in the comments section, we can't do anything about. The only option we have is to turn off comments. We've banned people and they pop right back up. And I'm not joking. They pop right back up. It's almost as if the algorithm is letting them back in, or someone at YouTube is getting rid of our block list. I don't know who we've pissed off. I'm not really interested. But suffice to say that creating content on YouTube right now is soul destroying, especially with all the AI generated craft. And go watch John Oliver's AI video thing that they did on last week tonight. It was very good. But that's the norm, alongside the crypto spam. And I'm not going to lie, I have contemplated closing the channel. And if there was a way that I could make money for the team and keep them employed, I would do that in a heartbeat. Because I don't feel that what we do warrants the hate. And there are voices inside my head that tell me that I am a terrible person. because that's why I'm getting all those comments. But I'm also cognizant, and I work with a therapist. I'm lucky. And I know that those feelings are attached to other things in my life that have got nothing to do with YouTube. But it does leave the whole team vulnerable, and it does leave all of us exhausted and questioning why we do it. I'm also really freaking stubborn, and I don't plan on going anywhere because that would give the haters what they want. So let's talk about nicer things. I've talked about the threats. I've talked about people trying to discredit us, claiming we've done things we haven't, that we get money from dark, evil places. Seriously. If I got a huge amount of money, I would have done a whole lot more to this house and this garden. Like, seriously. This place would be terraced. I would have goats. I would have more solar power. So, yeah, that's not happening. Oh, and the one person who is absolutely, what's the word? Obsessed with my degree? Yeah, I got a music degree. I went to one of the top music schools in the world. I am a graduate of the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, the same place that Ewan McGregor went to, and also the same place that Samantha Beart went to, the wonderful voice actor that plays Carlie in my favourite video game. So here's to you. But that doesn't mean that I don't know how to talk about EVs, or I don't know how to be a journalist. I can do more than one thing. I can pat my head and rub my tum. Well, not right now. I'm holding a cup of tea and a book. But you get my point. Now I promise. I had a vent. I'm feeling better. Let's talk about some of the feedback. So, I want to thank you all for giving us feedback on our solar videos. We did back-to-back solar videos last week. Kate did one and then I did one. It was because it was the summer solstice. If you celebrated, I hope you had a wonderful time. And some of you were questioning how much we'd spent on solar and said it was really, really expensive. And I want to remind you that costs to do things in different parts of the world are going to be different. Also, we didn't do a DIY install. We did a paid install. We had a company come out and install them in both cases, both for Kate and also for us. And that was because we were taking out loans to buy the solar systems. We wanted to make sure that they were properly done to code, that they were eligible for all of the tax credits. And in our case here, 15 kilowatt peak is not a small array. It's a sizable investment. And it's one of the reasons why we want to try and stay here. I know lots of people lately have said, you need to go back to the UK, you need to go to Canada, or you need to go to Aotearoa and New Zealand. And I would love to move to Canada or Aotearoa or parts of Scotland. I'm not necessarily keen to go back to the UK, given its current treatment of people like me. But Oregon is a reasonably safe place right now. We live in a reasonably liberal place right now. We are safe. But we've also invested a lot of money in this house. And moving house is not like you just can't get up one day and go, I'm moving house. We would both have to find a new job, myself and my wife. And even if I took Transport Evolved to Canada, what about the team? Could I pay them? Could I still keep them? And I try and make all of our decisions, as does my wife, in a way that benefits the most number of people and us. We try and act in a way that's not necessarily selfish, that is one that looks at the broader picture for everyone else. So yeah, we're not moving unless we absolutely have to. And to the few that said, hey, I'm really upset that you put politics in your show. Me mentioning that America is not a safe place if you happen to be queer or trans is not political. It's an effing fact. I nearly actually said the word. And then I was like, no. If you're an adult, you know what I meant. And that's the important thing. So, to the good news. I want to give a shout out to Tear It Up Sports, who reached out and was like, why are your solar panels not tied to your home integration system? And I was like, because Sunrun said I couldn't do that. And they went, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, you can totally do that. So, good news is that Tear It Up has a Ford F-150 Lightning and had a home integration system. They've since changed it to something else. But they told me it's totally possible to have solar panels from a microinverter setup fed directly into the same backed up circuits that you have your home integration system on. And that blew my mind. So, thanks to you, you know who you are, I'm going to spend some time looking into and planning the switch between what we currently have, which is the solar panels are connected to the grid, and if the grid goes down, the truck turns on and powers the home, but the solar panels don't operate, and move that solar feed so that it goes to the backed up panel. And what that means is when the grid is on, power can flow through that panel back to the grid and everything will be good. But then when the power goes off, everything will turn off. The truck will turn the system on, the home integration system will power on, and then the solar panels will be able to supplement the truck. Now, this is important for us because we have a really massive electricity bill. We use a lot of electricity. We talked about the servers. As I said in that video, 1.2 to maybe 3 kilowatts, depending on how much power you're putting on. I thought it was slightly less, but then over the last weekend, we moved a new battery into the server room, and yeah, it's more power than I thought we were pulling. Having the truck power the house, but have the solar panels on a day like today feed power in is going to be so important. And as I understand it, any excess solar can then be used to charge the truck, that's great news. Now, there are some questions about how that would work and the grid forming and all of that stuff, but I'm going to do some research. Fingers crossed, we can get that system up and commissioned, and then we really will be much more self-reliant and resilient if the power has to go off. And we got a phone call, or my wife gave me a phone call the other day saying that she had heard our local utility was contemplating turning off the power to deal with high winds and fire risk. So we are in that season, and I would like to still have power and a nice comfortable house to live in. So thank you to Tear It Up. You really made me feel quite happy. So what's coming this week? Well, hopefully the video on the soldering and replacing the DC to DC converter on the VX1. We got everything we needed to do that. And hopefully a few more fun videos. I am going to be kind of leaning back on what's going on in the world right now. It's super scary. And I know lots of you are nervous and worried about the future. So while we want to try and cover things as eloquently and as intelligently as we possibly can, I also think we need to do a little bit more on resiliency and non-brand new stuff, and just keeping older generation EVs running, keeping a lifestyle that is a little bit more cognizant that not everyone goes out and buys a brand new car. So watch this space. I know this video has been like really long, like 20 minutes, 23 minutes, according to our videographer. One take, I didn't screw up. I screwed up a lot. But anyway, thank you for listening. Be kind to one another. Tell someone you care about them. Make somebody else's life better, not because you expect something good in return or money or favors, but just because it's the bloody nice thing to do. Volunteer. Give your time and your expertise freely. Build a community, build a resistance. Don't let this hate win. Fear, tribalism, it's just not worth it. I'm going to go and drink my tea now. I'm nearly finished. Oh, and yes, for those who are asking, everything electric, we hope to be there. We're still waiting from the team at Everything Electric to let us know if it's possible for us to go this year. But fingers crossed. And if that does happen, you'll be able to buy tickets and help us out so that we can afford to go there. Cheers. Thanks for joining us today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, on our Patreon page down below, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon or Blue Sky. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They're part of the massive community of supporters who make this channel possible, helping us through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and helping us to remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. We've got options available across a wide range of different price points, starting from $1.50 US a month. A massive welcome to our newest supporters: Roshilu, Lynn, Mogren, Yalafli, Abigail, Jason Hellman, Mike, Rastas, Jay, Jim Boyer, Trebor, Steffel HB, Calvin Klein, Albedardo Conessa, John Snyder, Scott Matheson, Mia Hartman, Philip Paul, Randolph Lee, Simon Cotell, Stephen Meadows, BGB Thauben, Kristen Ramison, James Holyroad, Robin Holston, MK Duffer, S.A. Gimpson, Chip Chandler, Jeff Harrop, Nye Mister, Robert Betancourt, Jason Broder, Byron Newton, and Mark. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame, and you can even gift membership to someone else. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll also find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at for the time being, address listed below. You'll also find links to our swag store, and if you are someone who has to shop on Amazon, please consider using our affiliate link so we get the commission, not Jeff Bezos. So we can continue to focus on making our content even better and reduce burnout. We're a little freer with our release days this year, but plan on dropping new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the main channel, plus something on Sunday over on Transport Evolved Take 2. If you want more, the algorithm that hates us thinks you should be watching this video, but this one is one we think you should check out. Be awesome, be kind, be intentional, and don't forget to resist. Keep evolving.